Off the top at 6, hot, humid, and muggy. A tough day for a tough job. 13 News Now was in Norfolk as roofers endured the heat.
Conditions were just right to fire up some thunderstorms. Check out these intimidating clouds Reagan sent us from Currituck County. Now there's a threat of more severe weather as we head into the evening.
Let's go straight to the experts. Chief Meteorologist Jeff Lawson is tracking the timing for us.
Yeah, that shot that Reagan sent in was the leading edge of that thunderstorm line that came through and actually prompted a severe thunderstorm warning, and then with enough heavy rain, a flood advisory. That's actually literally going to go away in about a minute and 15 seconds if our clock is right. You can see it still showing up here, but as I'm talking, it's going to go away again in just over a minute. Heavy rain there earlier has now moved down to the south, so we're still seeing pockets of heavy precipitation here right around actually a little south of Manio at this point in Roanoke Island, a little bit closer to Rodanthe in the next half hour, and then sliding through the Kitty Hawk Bridge there and continuing over. Definitely still some heavy pockets here around Elizabeth City from Pear Tree Road down to Weeksville, down to Griffin Swamp Road, stretching back over here to Old U.S. Highway 17. Okisko, over toward Lake Road, not quite heavy yet in New Hope proper, although with a northerly wind. This is a loft, so actually down by the time it reaches the ground with a northerly breeze, might be already raining fairly heavily down there. Stretching back over here to Skinner Road, Ryland Road, almost over to the Chuan River and places around Sign Pine as well. And really what's out there is going to continue to sag to the south. So for 95% of us this evening, it'll either be clear or clearing. And I think you're going to like the next couple of days at least. How about the rest of the holiday weekend? That's what I'll talk about in just a little while.
All right, Jeff, heads up, Norfolk, your taxes are about to go up.
The city budget battle ended last night as city leaders approved a $1.3 billion package. With that comes a real estate tax increase. The price of cigarettes is also going up, and visitors will also pay more when booking a hotel. 13 News Now reporter Allie Weatherton is live following the money tonight.
And Allie, how much more can neighbors expect to pay?
Well, David, the real estate tax increase will cost you and I probably about $20 extra a month. That's for the average homeowner. Now, if you want to know where that money's going, it's actually going to add some vehicles to the fleet for the city of Norfolk, and some say that's desperately needed. Made in 1986, this Dodge van is the oldest vehicle in Norfolk's fleet. It's 32 years old.
We can't expect our employees to be efficient with antiquated equipment.
The average age of every city car, over 10 years old.
They're not user-friendly anymore. Parts are difficult to get.
Last night, City Council approved to spend $3.8 million on updating new equipment and replacing the old cars with new, green, and efficient models.
What happens is it makes everybody's job easier because the people over in fleet maintenance don't have to spend so much time finding a part, going to get a part. The part's expensive.
And when winter heads our way, the newer vehicles will be equipped.
They're also all going to have the ability to have snowplows added.
Norfolk won't need to rely on other resources. Councilwoman Graves says the 10-cent tax increase will make Norfolk more efficient.
We all are going to feel that pinch over the long haul, but I think we also are going to feel the increased efficiency in city services, and the citizens are going to be proud of that.
You will see that increase starting on July 1st. Live in Norfolk, Allie Weatherton, 13 News Now.
Well, the new budget means dozens of jobs will be eliminated. City leaders tell us around 40 people will be reassigned. Another 5 will have jobs outside the city. Nearly 40 other positions weren't filled, allowing the city to eliminate those jobs without letting anyone go.
We have breaking news in the forgery and identity fraud case against a Portsmouth councilman. A special prosecutor says Mark Whitaker and his attorneys acted unethically when dealing with witnesses.
That's according to brand new court documents obtained by 13 News Now. The prosecutor is asking a judge to allow evidence of hearsay by alleged victims in the case. The 130-page filing states victims who have relationships with Whitaker changed their testimony over time.
The documents also say some victims' stories were used in special grand jury testimony and evidence. Those stories later changed in sworn sworn affidavits. To clear things up, witnesses such as Whitaker's sister have been subpoenaed to appear at a hearing in June.
Councilman Whitaker maintains his innocence. 13 News Now reached out to his attorney, and we have not heard back. Developing now in Portsmouth, a woman is badly hurt after she is hit by a car during a police chase. It all started around noon at the Food Lion on London Boulevard. Police say the suspect, accused of shoplifting, narrowly missed an officer in street clothes while driving off. While officers chased her, they say she hit a pickup truck. When the driver of the pickup got out to look at the damage, police say the suspect hit her. Officers later caught the suspect. No word yet on what charges she could face.
A guilty plea in a Virginia Beach courtroom. A former reality TV star admits to being drunk behind the wheel, causing a crash that killed a Coast Guardsman. It was last November when Melissa Hancock hit Daniel Dill head-on along I-264. Documents reveal the former Little Women Atlanta star had a blood alcohol level more than twice the legal limit. Dill was a designated driver for his wife the morning of the crash.
An Uber costs $5–10. Lyft. There's so many options nowadays that this should not be occurring ever.
Hancock faces a maximum of 21 years in prison.
Should school buses have seatbelts? That's the question we're asking. Take out your phone, open the 13 News Now app, and tap the vote tile. Tonight, we know what the feds have to say about it. The NTSB is in favor of adding safety belts to school buses. Already, local districts are responding to that recommendation. Here's 13 News Now reporter Megan Shin.
School buses with lap and shoulder seat belts. That's what the National Traffic Safety Board wants on large new buses. This federal recommendation comes a week after a fatal school bus crash in New Jersey. David Pace is Director of Transportation Services for Virginia Beach City Public Schools.
There's no exposed metal on the inside of this bus.
He says a seatbelt debate is nothing new to him.
I've been dealing with it for 35 years that I've been in the business.
During the 2018 General Assembly session, 2 bills would have required 3-point belt systems. Both were left in the House Education Committee.
They're not required in Virginia.
On the phone, the director of the State Education Department says, last year, Henrico County added seatbelts to its buses with a county ordinance saying
all vehicles purchased by county-owned, county taxpayer dollars would have seatbelts, including school buses.
In Virginia Beach, Pace says seatbelts could cost the city or state a lot more money.
So if you added seatbelts, it would add another
$9,000 a bus.
He insists buses are safe now without seatbelts like cars have.
You know, we think that, they're good in cars. Well, a car is a lot different than a large school bus.
He says no seatbelts allow kids to get away from an emergency quickly. With the recommendations, any state changes will remain to be seen.
We would, of course, comply with any regulation that would require seatbelts on school buses.
Well, we reached out to 7 Hampton Road school divisions. Norfolk, Portsmouth, and Chesapeake Public School spokespeople told us that if the state changes its policies, then they will add the seatbelts. Reporting in Virginia Beach, I'm Megan Shin, 13 News Now.
Fatal school bus crashes are rare. That's according to data from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. They recorded 340,000 deadly crashes from 2004 to 2013. Of those, just 0.4% involved a bus. Well, we ask you what you felt about seatbelts, rather. Do you support them on school buses?
Around 3/4 of you say yes, you do support seatbelts. Thanks to everyone who voted.